Well, I'm curious of what you've been doing since then, because I know you've been pretty creative. I mean, you mentioned about working on a record, but one thing I thought that was pretty cool that you've kind of mentioned before that I don't see it now is that you had your personal venue, which is the Sequent Sanctuary, which I heard about. So how are
Yeah.
you able to create that?
Well, I'll work backwards. So the as far as my venue, the Sequence Sanctuary, it is a art installation that is constantly changing. It develops in different forms, usually depending on my personal mood. And so this year, it started off with uh, when COVID shut down all my shows, and so I knew I was going to be performing for our fans virtually, and I kind of wanted to just focus on bringing them a more presentable experience, especially if I was going to be by myself and not with my nine other bandmates. And so I made a venue in my house out of all these pieces of sequin that I had kept from previous shows or events that I'd put together. And um, for the first few months, like March, April, May, I was performing every single week for free on our Facebook Live and Instagram Live for tips for the band. And that really slowed down after George Floyd was murdered, and I just really wasn't able to focus and perform the way that I wanted to because I was just so sad. And then towards the end of June, I think it was like June 27th. Actually, it was June 27th. I just really had an epiphany where I was like, okay, being able to make the music that we make, being able to create, being able to sing, especially during times like this, is such a gift and such a blessing.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that I'm not punishing myself or anybody else just because uh, of an event caused by the hatred of a few people.
Hmm.
And so I've been really trying to focus more on like how I can heal myself and help others through performing. And so the Suffers are in the middle of wrapping up our third studio album, which we had to finish in quarantine. And a few of the songs we recorded part by part by part, which was something completely opposite of what we've done in the past. We're used to doing it all at one time as a big band and whatever.
One thing I found out that was pretty interesting is the band's song "Take Me to the Good Times," which is a recent song that came out, became actually the theme music for Brené Brown's podcast. So how
Yeah.
did that happen?
That happened through Brené, actually. She started following us online and told us that she had discovered our music through my friend Carrie Rodriguez and Gina Chavez, who actually do her music for her other podcast. And it was something that I was like, oh, like I'd heard her name before, but I was like,
Yeah.
what is she following us for? And I was like, she knows Oprah. Like, whoa. And it was a win that we needed at a really like special and crazy time in our lives. Um, the audience that Brene has is so vast and different and really trying to improve themselves. And I feel like that is exactly what the Suffers are. We're made up of so many different cultures and backgrounds. You have black, white, Hispanic, yeah, black woman, trans woman. Like we're really learning um, how to grow as a group, not only through the things that I've been through or what Juliet's been through, but the journeys that we've been through as a unit, and like how we can take anything that we've been through that might be seen as negative or that we experienced as negative and turn it into a lesson or a memory of loss that we can look back on when we're winning. It's like we've always done a really good job of pushing through to the positive. And yeah, I'm excited to continue doing that. And um, I hope that all of the people that discover us through Brene's podcast
Oh yeah.
uh, are able to hear that.
And I think I heard before you were part of the Sufferers, you were part of a ska band? Is that
Yep.
or
Yep. The Suffers actually started as a ska, reggae, rocksteady cover band. We were supposed to do that style of like popular songs. So we covered like Bobby Brown and Adele and like New Order, and like we just had like fun with it. And um, we had originals, and those originals ended up transcending into like songs that we were like, okay, well, I have one like this, and I have one like this. And um, we have all these 9 people here from all these different musical backgrounds to workshop it. Let's use it. Let's use everyone's training and capability and creativity to make something cool together. And so that's where we started going.
and I can tell that you definitely have an interest in a range of things besides soul music, which is the Sufferers are known to play a lot of, and you have a lot of interest in ska music and reggae music. So I'm curious of who are some of your musical influences, because I think I heard Miley Cyrus was one of them too.
Well, I really like Miley Cyrus. I don't know. Sure, we'll say she plays an influence. I really like. Uh, I think she has really great pop songs, and I think that a lot of lessons can be learned from what she does. As far as like influences that I've been listening to my whole life, um, I would say Erica Badu, Yolanda Adams, Jill Scott, Dolly Parton, Selena, Celia Cruz, um, basically Tina Turner, Beyonce, like power singers that don't sound necessarily like everybody else. I really, really love that. Like Luther Vandross was just like, oh my, always trying to copy Luther as a kid, but like um for me now, I'm always listening to a lot of what's new, what's happening, like what's blowing my mind right now.
Hmm.
Um, I love uh, Yeba and uh, Anderson Paak and Hiatus Coyote. There's a artist out of Houston named Dende who I think is just doing like really, really incredible stuff. Jackie Vincent out of Austin, Joshua Asante out of Little Rock. Like the list goes on and on and on and on. And um, I don't know. I just have a lot of talented friends that I feel are constantly just inspiring me to do more. Krungben, like I'm just like wow, like everyone's just always blowing my mind and inspiring me to challenge myself.
Awesome. And you mentioned earlier that you've done your own music, and one thing that I saw of yours is your new Metals EP, which it has a couple of songs on that. And one song I'm really interested in is that you had a cover song of Korn's "Freak on a Leash." So why'd you include that song in your EP?
Yeah, so I mean that era of music I always found so interesting and almost kind of like not funny, but like I love that it either makes people really happy or it makes people like irritated that it ever existed. Like new metal, oh, like it's like I feel like it's just part of the genre shift of music and evolution of it. But uh I always loved. I mean, I always loved Corn, Deftones. The Godsmack song, I was not a Godsmack fan, but I know that song was. I was like, it's a pop song. It's like it's a metal song, but it's a
Yeah,
pop song.
yeah.
I actually initially wanted to do. Um, I wanted to replace Voodoo with Chop Suey by System of a Down or
Hmm.
Toxicity, but it just didn't end up working out. And so I worked on that record with this producer named Heaven out of Los Angeles. And, we kind of just, it started off as a joke, like, let's just do this like soulful new metals cover record. And it started off with the Deftones cover because I'm a huge Deftones fan.
Hmm.
Um, but it just kind of evolved, and so I was so happy to get it done and to try it out. And the reason that I really did it all was because I wanted a palate cleanser. I felt like if I did something like that, then no one could talk to me about like what genre I would be allowed to do. Like, okay, yeah, you've
Yeah.
gotten to discover me through my soul music. Here's this random, new metal cover record that I'm doing, so that if I decide to drop my country album or anything else, it won't be of a shock.